Hello, and welcome to Women in Business, where we interview entrepreneurs and senior managers and show you the strengths, successes, obstacles, and roadblocks women experience in business. Since I believe every person in business needs to be visible, I'd like to invite you to watch www.sob6, that's the number 6, tips.com, which will give you some valuable information should you get the call to be on radio or TV, which I think is extremely important. If you'd like to contact me personally, drop me a line at Gayle Carson, that's Gayle, GayleCarson13 at gmail.com, or go to my website, www.spunkyoldbroad.com, and sign up for my weekly newsletter.
Hi, everybody. We have a fabulous guest today. Her name is Nikki Barua. She's a serial entrepreneur, an international keynote speaker, best-selling author, and a leading expert who helps people and organizations adapt to change. She's a fierce advocate for diversity and is passionate about making the world more inclusive and innovative. She's won numerous awards, including Entrepreneur of the Year by ACE, named as EY North America Entrepreneurial Winning Woman, recognized as LA Woman of Influence by the Business Journals and Women of Enterprise or Entrepreneurship by LA Lakers and Comerica Bank. Her inspiring story of turning barriers into breakthroughs has been featured in national media, including Fortune and Forbes. Welcome, Nikki.
Thank you for having me, Gayle. Such a delight to be on your show.
You can tell our people and our women who are listening to this, I've been through it, and if I've been through it, you can do it too. So give us an idea of your personal story.
Absolutely. Well, my personal journey, I'll share with my story from 20 years ago when I came to America from my hometown in India with a one-way ticket, $250 in my pocket, and a suitcase full of really unfashionable clothes and all of my big dreams. Here I was this young girl that, dreamed bigger, and I felt like America was the place where those dreams would come true. So I made my way here all by myself, and it wasn't until I came here that I realized, wow, I don't quite fit the mold. Here I'm this poor immigrant, non-white female who's gay and short, and I didn't think I had a shot in hell of making it. But I wasn't going to let my fears stop me. So I adapted to change really fast. I became very successful in my corporate career and then moved on to building entrepreneurial businesses and built a large multi-million-dollar global company. And throughout my journey, I've constantly faced a lot of obstacles and discovered that actually the obstacles are the path to the opportunities. Even in my business, I faced numerous setbacks and failures. That journey, that process of constantly adapting to change, of learning and getting ahead has been the path for me to achieve the successes that I have. And so my story truly is one of how do you survive and thrive no matter what your external environment is about. And that journey never stops.
First of all, you do not have an Indian accent. So how old were you when you came here?
I was actually 21. So it's interesting that you pointed that out because at first I was so conscious of being different that I spent a lot of time trying to fit in. I dressed the way everyone said I was supposed to dress. I worked on an American accent. I remember my first job was with a big consulting firm where everybody was suited and booted. And I remember being told that you have to wear pantyhose and pearls and dress a certain way. And I did everything that I was supposed to. And I realized that the more I became like everybody else, the less of me there was left to see. And it was an important lesson that I learned in a very painful way, because in my attempt to be like everybody else, I lost everything that made me unique. And so coming out of that to stepping into being unapologetically authentic and finding my own unique style and approach has been, a process in itself.
I'm surprised that your parents even allowed you to come to the United States because, I know Indian families are very close, and parents are very structured as to what they want their children to do. So, you kind of broke the mold.
Especially as a daughter. Yes, absolutely. I can't say that it was easy for my parents to let go or for me to leave my family and come here alone. In fact, as I was growing up, there was a lot of pressure for arranged marriage. That was convention. That's part of our traditional society. Is as a girl comes of age, there's suitors that come with proposals for arranged marriages. And it was very difficult to sort of not follow the norm, and choose a different path, because when you choose something that's different from the norm, oftentimes you get rejected for it. You're judged for it or criticized or just sort of ostracized in some way. But I just had such a strong sense of purpose and a bigger dream that that is what propelled me and allowed me to make the case with my parents and get them on board to eventually letting me go.
Wow. So what now is your big mission?
As I experienced successes as well as lots of failures, one of the things that I learned in my journey was that there are so few women that scale to the very top of, whether it's the top of corporate organizations or in the entrepreneurial careers. And reading stats like it's going to take 200 years to close the gender gap, that's just shocking to me, because on one hand, we hear the news how men will make it to Mars in the next 7 years, and yet as women, we have to wait 200 years to make it to the top. I mean, I'm just not willing to wait that long. And so I'm on a mission to help women rise to the top faster and really close the gender gap by helping more women accelerate success and develop the skill set, the mindset, and tool set for success in the digital age. And so that's really my passion point. That's based on what I have achieved, and I want to bring my sisters along to do the same.
So what do you think are the most valuable skills that people need in today's world, in the digital age? And are they the keys to success in today's world, or where are we heading?
Well, technology has really transformed the society that we live in such rapid forms that it's been a challenge to keep adapting to that change. I mean, change has always been the case, but the world is moving way faster than ever before. As an example, 100 years ago, in 1919, the biggest innovation that year was the pop-up toaster. And if you think today, the volume of innovation is something that we can barely keep up with. We have cars that drive themselves, speakers that can talk to us, watches that can tell us whether we're healthy or not. There's technology and innovation everywhere that is upending industries, that is changing our way of life, creating new kinds of products. More wealth is going to be created in the next decade than in the last 100 years. But it's creating a new kind of divide in society of the haves and the have-nots. And it's not about income as much as it is those that are creating the world that we will live in and those that are getting disrupted by it. So in that context, the most valuable skills are the ability to constantly learn and adapt. As lifelong learners, if you have mastered the art of lifelong learning, where you are adapting to change faster than the pace of change, you're bound to succeed and thrive. If you are someone that is stuck on the way you've done things before, or learning is not a natural, a commitment and a daily habit, you will get left behind, because so many things are changing at such a rapid pace that the only thing that becomes a superpower is your learning.
So, if we're really trying to get where we want to go, and life is changing so fast, what is the best way for a woman to get future ready fast? I mean, I know what you're talking about with change. I mean, every day there's something new out there that you have to either accept or reject or adapt to. So what do I do to get future ready?
Yeah, the challenge with the environment that we're facing today, that is unlike anything in the past, is we are essentially becoming a society where we will coexist with machines, with robots, if you will. And the computational skills that a machine has, it's not an easy thing for a human to match up to, right? I mean, just a year ago, 70% of the tasks done across all industries were being performed by humans. In 3 years, that number is going to go down to, with 40% of it being performed by machines. So that significant change of machines taking over more and more of the tasks essentially leads us to then questioning, well, what are the things that machines cannot do? And those are innately human skills. Our innate human gifts are the gift of imagination, our interpersonal skills, our ability to communicate, empathize, to create. Those are the unique things that we as human beings have. And that's why I truly believe we're stepping into the age of the feminine, because so many traits that as women we are blessed with are truly the ones that will be most needed and most in demand. And in fact, the most important job skill in the next 12 months is going to be the ability to, the creativity and complex problem solving is going to be one of the most important skills. So those type of the relational skills, the communication skills, being able to do those well is what will set us up for the future. But the flip side of the challenge is that with so much automation, everything becomes a commodity. So how do you stand out in a sea of 7 billion people competing for a much smaller set of things that require to be done? And this is where a lot of my work is focused on helping women prepare and position themselves in the right spot to ride these big waves, because the opportunity is massive. It's actually bigger than it's ever been. But if you're not standing in the right spot to catch that big wave, you're going to get swept away by it. So how do you position yourself? How do you become distinctive in your space? And then how do you use the right way to become known for it and connect with your audience is what allows you to tap into these massive opportunities.
But not only how do you stand out, but what about this work-life balance? There's always the argument, oh, you can never have it all. No, you can't have work-life balance. And I disagree with that, because I think you can balance, but I think balance is different for everybody. My life balance, I mean, very few people would want to live the way I live. And so I don't try to impose my views on anybody else, but it's perfect for me. And if I had to have any, and by the way, I'm in probably my 7th or 8th change of what work and life balance is, because how I was raised is one thing, being in school, college was another, starting my first company was another, getting married and having children was another, when my husband passed away, it's another, when I changed my careers and what I was doing, it's another. So that work-life balance is always changing, but nobody, well, it's a big word, nobody, but very few people would want to live the way I live because it's very intense, and yet it's very, it's perfect for me. So how do you achieve, in your mind, work-life balance?
I think what you shared is exactly what I would recommend, because what you described is that regardless of life stage or circumstance, you created the balance that gave you the greatest achievement and fulfillment. It was right for you. And that's what it comes down to. I think where we suffer is when we look at it in terms of dividing time into equal parts. And we take a 24-hour day and say 8 hours for sleep, 8 hours for work, and 8 hours to squeeze in everything else. And you're constantly failing against that sort of, portioning of your daily schedule, because you're always either missing out on something or unable to. You're at work thinking about all the things you should be doing for your family, or you're dealing with your family. It's thinking about how you're not taking care of yourself, or you're just not getting enough sleep. Much like you, Gayle, I subscribe to the same philosophy that my lifestyle may not be for anybody or else, or for very few other people, but it's perfect for me. It's what I have designed in a way that works for me. It's the right amount of sleep that I need in order to thrive. It's doing all the things that elevate my energy, enthusiasm, and my excitement, my zest for life. So if that means that I'm working 14 hours a day because it makes me come alive, it really doesn't matter. It's right for me. If that means I work 4 days a week instead of 6, that's fine too. If I take, 6 vacations a year instead of 1, it's designing your life on your terms. And so I actually created a framework that allowed me to go through this much more systematically. And I created sort of a wheel of life, if you will, of the 6 dimensions of things that were personally important to me. And I rank them on a scale of 1 to 10 to say, okay, where do I stand against what I really want in each dimension of my life? And where am I over-indexed to under-indexed? What is it that's actually causing pain or suffering in my life because I'm not taking care of that? Maybe it's fitness. Maybe it's not spending enough time with family. And you give it attention in terms of the quality of the time you need to give to it, and bring your life back into the balance that is right for you. And just going through that process in a much more self-aware way, but also avoiding comparison, that what you need is just right for you, regardless of what someone else does.
Well, so tell us, I don't think you've really said what you do, Nikki. And I know our listeners want to know some of the obstacles that you've run into and what you're doing now and what has made you so successful.
Yes, absolutely. So first off, as someone who has always been very entrepreneurial throughout my life, what I discovered through all of the ups and downs is what I think of as a success system that has really helped me accelerate success. For many years, I was an advisor to the world's largest corporations, helping them adapt to change, become more innovative. And I realized that I was using the same principles in my own life, and being able to navigate through risk and uncertainty, being able to get ahead of disruptive change, and basically turn every obstacle into an opportunity. Even as I was building my businesses, I've faced numerous setbacks and failures. In fact, one of them, I went through 300 rejections, failed 11 times. And it wasn't until after the 12th time that I turned into a multi-million-dollar global company. But that kind of relentless pursuit of what you want and the tenacity to keep trying is key to achieving success that you dream of. So what I did was became a student of success because I realized that there was so much to it in terms of the skill set, the mindset, and the tool set you need. But also in an age where things are changing so fast, you can't just afford to stand still or adapt slowly. You have to be able to achieve success a lot faster. And that's really what I focus on teaching women is how do you accelerate success? How can you achieve the same outcomes in a fraction of the time by using smart strategies, by using cutting edge technologies and tools, and by having the right mindset to be able to do that. And the way we offer that service to women that we work with is through live seminars and cutting edge content and programming, as well as expert coaching to be able to level up their business or their entrepreneurial careers. And not just do it in one dimension of their life, but really look at it in a holistic way to say, how can you be successful in all aspects of your life? And look at it from the context of the world that we're living in today, which is so much dominated by technology and the intensity and the chaos that we're trying to survive in the midst of. So my mission simply is to prepare women to be successful in this age of technology and artificial intelligence, so that they are not only prepared to thrive in that, but truly actually dominate in that. In fact, we're hosting a live seminar called Get Future Ready Fast. And that is where in this 3-day experience, we take women from where they are today to really defining their future vision and strategy and gaining the skills and the strategies in order to be able to achieve that goal.
Wow. It's funny you say 300 rejections. And I remember when I still to a point, but not because I'm in kind of a different space now. But I would always say people don't get off my list until they either tell me, take me off your list, or they die, because I'm but that kind of reminds me of the Chicken Soup for the Soul, how many rejections they got before a publisher actually said, yes, I will do it. And then look at the success of that series. So you do have to have the determination. And I mean, most people know that it takes at least anywhere from 6 to 8 touches before someone says yes in a sales call. But 300 rejections, wow, Nikki, that's a lot. And to have the guts and the determination to carry on when you've had those kind of numbers, that really takes a special kind of person, though, because, not easy to do. So anyway, we are coming to the end of this interview, which I hate, but we are. And I want to, is there a gift you'd like to offer to our listeners, or where can people get in touch with you? Tell us a little bit about that, where they can find you.
I'd love to invite your audience to connect with me on my website at nikkibarua.com. That's NIKKIBARUA.com. And if they go to nikkibarua.com/free, they can get a digital copy of my book called Beyond Barriers, where I share stories of incredibly inspiring women from all over the world, including my own, that have overcome barriers and obstacles in their lives and have achieved extraordinary success. And it presents a specific framework of how every woman can do the same. So I'd love to have your audience, learn from these stories and strategies, and invite them to get a free copy of the book at nikkibarua.com/free.
Fantastic. Again, folks, it's spelled NIKKI, 2 Ks, BARUA.com. Nikki, thank you so much for being with us today. We've learned a lot. I've learned a lot. I wish you continued success. I know you will have it. And good luck to you in everything that you do.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Hi, this is Dr. Gayle, and I wanted you to know I have a whole bunch of other things to offer you. If you go to spunkyoldbroad.com, you will see an array of SOB stuff for sale and all our latest products and additions. If you're interested in getting on TV, I have a brand new course, Get on TV. And if you want to start your own business, You'll want my SOB Guide to Business Success. I know you'll love them all. I guarantee it.
Thanks for listening to Women in Business. I hope you enjoyed today's show. And if you have any suggestions as to who you'd like me to have as a guest, just email me at gaylecarson13@gmail.com. Be sure to check out www.sob6tips.com. And in the meantime, go to www.spunkyoldbroad.com to see the resources I have for you.